I'm not gonna lie, but as a kid, I always thought Sonic was kind of dumb. This was mainly because most of my exposure to Sonic was like Sonic Boom or Sonic Unleashed. Sonic Boom is honestly pretty funny, like the show anyway. I don't know about the games, I've never touched them. And I know Sonic Unleashed has its redeeming qualities, but I always thought that the Wayhog looked really stupid. This all changed though after I played the peak fiction known as Sonic Adventure 2. These games just have such a cool vibe to them, even if the gameplay can be a bit hit or miss at times. It's a bit forgivable though, because these are the first proper 3D Sonic games. Anyway, starting with Sonic Adventure 1. This game can be really fun, but it can also be kind of not fun. It's a bit of a technical showcase of what the Dreamcast was capable of, which can bog the game down a bit. It's got a bit of like weird design choices, such as fishing. I think it still holds up pretty well. It's definitely not for everyone, especially nowadays, but I think it's pretty decent. The voice acting and the cutscenes look absurd. I still think the game looks pretty good for its time though. I especially love these models, they have such a charm to them, they're so adorable. Sonic Adventure has 5 different stories with their own characters. Sonic is obviously the most fun character in the game. All the levels are primarily designed around him, and I love how slippery he feels in this game. If you dash off like the slightest incline, you can go flying. Tails' level design is arguably not very good in this game. Don't get me wrong, he's fun, but you just fly over the entire level. Knuckles' gameplay is also a lot more fun than I actually remember it being. I like how you get to explore levels unlike every other character in the game, and he's pretty unique to the rest of the cast. Amy is alright. She feels a bit slow and unresponsive next to the rest of the cast. She does have a giant robot chasing her on her levels, and I think that does a bit to make her levels feel a bit more interesting, even if it like is not intimidating in the slightest. Honestly, Big is not anywhere near as bad as people make him out to be. I get it, the game does not give you any idea of how this works, but once you figure it out, it's super easy. But that doesn't stop this part of the game from sucking. Gamma's whole thing is just run and gun, and it's alright, I guess. I think the more interesting part about Gamma is just his story itself. It's pretty unique, and it's a bit sad because he dies at the end. Spoiler, I guess. The final story is where you play Super Sonic. You just run around as Sonic for a bit, and at the end you do a boss fight where you play Super Sonic against Chaos. The game's boss fights aren't exactly that great. Also, I don't know why, but I was incapable of getting a rank higher than C on every mission. I was playing pretty casually, so I don't really care that much, and I wasn't really aiming to get anything all that good. But not once did I get a rank higher than C. Sonic Adventure 2 is a bit of a downgrade in a few aspects, but it also improves a lot on the original game in a lot of ways. First off, the voice acting is better, the cutscenes are better animated. There are 6 playable characters in this game, but it might as well be 3 because a lot of them share the same gameplay. Most of the characters feel better to control here than they did in the first game, sort of. I miss a lot of the stuff from the first game, like the spin dash, and this game can feel a bit wonky. Like, why is this game's spin dash so delayed? Sonic and Shadow are both really fun to play. They feel a lot tighter to control than Sonic did in SA1, which isn't a bad thing, but I do miss being able to launch myself in the air as Sonic. But we do got rail grinding, and that's so cool, even if it's not really clear how it works, but I think I know how it works now, sorta. Knuckles levels share the same gameplay as Rouge. For whatever reason, the Emerald Shards spawn in different places every time, which makes it really annoying, because levels are so big, plus some of the levels will have stupid gimmicks to them. You remember how Tails' whole thing is that he spins his tails around and flies? Well, what if instead he drove around a big clunky mech? Also, what if you shared that gameplay with Eggman? The controls while playing them feels pretty whack, and I don't really like the way the lock-on system works that much, but that might just be me. The levels can be a bit of a drag, but it's better than playing as Knuckles and Rouge. Okay, but at the end of the day, all of this doesn't matter, because this game is like the coolest thing ever, exclusively because of the story, and also because Sonic and Shadow's levels. Most of them anyway. It feels so much more grand and epic next to every other Sonic game that came before. You get to go to all these cool locations, and we got all these cool characters from this games like Shadow and Rouge. So it's the best game, actually. Can I please gush over how cool Shadow is for a bit? Shadow has such a good arc in this game. He goes from being angry and bitter and wanting revenge against the world for Maria's death, literally willing to destroy the planet because of it, to sacrificing himself to the end and becoming a hero in his own right. But it's okay, he comes back in the next game, and then he becomes kind of flanderized. But he's pretty good now, I guess. I'm gonna say something a bit controversial. I think these games are just a little bad. They're full of annoying gimmicks and unfun gameplay, but they're also full of awesome gimmicks and fun gameplay, which sums up a lot of Sonic games, I feel. They're so cool, and I don't know how to say it, but there's just something special about these games that nothing can really match. Even if I do think gameplay-wise, Mania and Generations are infinitely better. Anyway, that's all now. Thanks, bye-bye.